Hey everyone, Pastor George here with today's mailbag, and we have another question from the same person who asked it last week. Just I separated it into two, because they separated it into two. Second question is, do you have any tips for how someone can develop a more disciplined approach to daily prayer and Bible reading? It can be very hard to find the time to focus. So I have like two separate responses to this because these things combined can help solve your problem, or it's either one of the two. So if the first problem is that you just kind of don't know what to do when it comes to being disciplined, right? Like you want to read the Bible but you don't really know where to start, or you don't like have an idea of kind of what you want to study, or you can't find anything, I would suggest downloading the Bible app and finding plans on there, right? Because most of the plans come with dedicated readings and also a prayer at the end. You can also pick up a commentary, like let's say you just kind of want to do devotional, something like that. Anything by Tim Keller is really good. Right now I'm reading a Christian history in 1 year, and that has like a story from something that happened in Christian history and a Bible verse and something to think about in prayer and stuff like that. So I think if that is your issue, then there's lots of resources out there. It's kind of just trying to know where to find them, and so you can find all that stuff on Christian Book or Amazon or the App Store or whatever, and you can pretty much get it taken care of that way. But if it is the second part, which I think is more what you're talking about, I just wanted to cover all my bases. The second part, which is something that a lot of us face these days, which is having the time to do this, right? How do you make time? How do you be more disciplined about it? And that is an easy answer, and it's one that we don't want to hear, but the easy answer is be the change that you want to see in the world, right? Be the person that you want to be, right? It really is about making more time. And one of the things that I got off a podcast several years ago, and the guy who runs it, he's a writer, and writers always ask him, like, how do you find time to write, right? I have a job, I'm all these other types of things, I want to be a writer. How do you find time to write? And his answer always is wake up an hour earlier. Wake up an hour earlier and use that time to write, right? Well, I would say that that is very good advice. Wake up an hour earlier and use that time for devotional and prayer. Now, of course, that is something that none of us want to hear, right? Because we like to sleep in. I like to sleep in, right? And so being challenged to wake up early and do something like that is not something that we want to do. I remember I was in a group. I guess I'm still in the group, but at one point, this group that I was in was trying to do something exactly like this with prayer, and the goal was to wake up an hour earlier. Now the problem is I wake up at like 6 a.m. already because I do workouts and stuff like that, and that's difficult enough. So this was getting up at 5 a.m., and I think I lasted like 2 days or something like that, and then I was just like, nope, I'm gonna sleep, right? And I think that reveals something about me and was challenging to me about what I kind of treasured more, right? And I had to really think about that. But I do think that like this is something that you just have to make the time to do. So you put it in your iPhone calendar or whatever you use to track yourself every day, right? Whether it's just a normal notebook or whatever, or a smartphone, and you put in a reminder that from like 7 to 7:15 every night you are going to do this, and then your phone will ding, and make sure it doesn't go off until you actually have to swipe it. That way, at least if you're swiping and you didn't do it, you're the one to blame, right? You can't blame it on, oh, I didn't have enough time or whatever, because you did. So you have to make the time to do it, right? It's like anything else. A relationship like God with God is like anything else, any other relationship, right? It's about you want to spend time with other people that you love or whatever, and you make that time because you're pumped up about it, because you want to be in that relationship. Well, the same thing goes for God, right? You have to make the time to be with God, and that is difficult for some of us, but it comes down to actually being a change you want to see. So maybe the challenge is, at least in the short term, to wake up an hour earlier. Try that. Even if you don't want to, just do it because it's difficult, and try and see how that affects anything. And then maybe if not, at least you'll realize that you can structure maybe another part of your day, so you can do that. So and then yeah, again, it just doesn't have to be some grand thing. It can just be a Bible plan or something. But just something to think about. It's a good question, though, and very practical one. All right, everyone, have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I'll see you next week for more Theologs. Yeah, it's Easter Sunday is next week, so that's exciting. Or I guess it's not next week because next week would start with Palm Sunday. But you get what I'm saying. 2 Sundays from now, the next Theologs will be closer to Easter than to Palm Sunday in terms of being in the future. You get it. All right. Have a wonderful Thursday, everyone. Peace out.